Hey everyone, my name's Justin Odisho, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create a VHS camcorder video effect in Adobe Premiere Pro CC. So I've got this clip on the timeline, and this is just a full HD footage, and we're going to transform it into more of a VHS style of clip. So the first thing I'm going to do is create some of that red and blue chromatic aberration or color channel splitting. Now I have a full tutorial going more slowly in depth into this, but let me just break down the steps for you to follow. We're going to hold Option and then drag our clip up, which is going to copy it 3 times. If you don't have that Option shortcut for some reason, you can always just right click, copy the clip, and then paste it onto the track above your clip 3 times. So on each of these clips, we're going to isolate each color channel, red, green, and blue. So on the top one, we're going to go to our effects panel on the right hand side and then find an effect called arithmetic. It should be under the channel folder in the video effects menu. Click and drag the arithmetic effect onto the top clip, and then make sure the operator is set to max and turn the red value all the way up. That'll give you your red color channel. Then make sure the blending mode of this layer is set to add or linear dodge. Next, we're going to do the same thing with the second clip. We're going to drag the arithmetic effect on, except this time turn the green value all the way up, make sure it's set to max, and then set the blending mode to linear dodge or add. And then for the third one, all we have to do is click the arithmetic channel and then set it to max and then turn the blue all the way up. That'll give us our blue color channel. So now our clip looks normal again because we added all the color channels back together. But now if we take the top color channel, which is the red one, and then we take the scale and we increase it a bit, let's say 102, you can see that chromatic aberration pops up because we've displaced the 3 color channels. So you can play around with how much you want, like just a little bit would be 101, which is what I'm going to do, or you could do a lot, or you can move the position slider, whatever you want to do to displace it. And then I'm going to hold shift, select all those 3 copies, and then right click and then nest that sequence. That'll turn everything into one nested sequence for us to continue working with. And if I ever double click it, I can see all 3 of them separately so I can adjust things. So now that we have our chromatic aberration, the next thing we're going to do is add some noise and coloration and grain. So I'm going to do this on an adjustment layer above the clip. So go to your project menu and then go to File, New, Adjustment Layer. Now I can click and drag this adjustment layer and drag it over however much space I need. Now we're going to add a couple effects to start building our VHS look. So the first one is actually going to be a Gaussian blur. So we can find that effect under the video effects blur folder, Gaussian blur. I can just search for it and I'll add that. And then I'll just use a blurriness of about 3. That'll give us a slightly blurrier, less HD look. Next, we're going to add some noise, and I'm just using the search bar to find all these. So you should find one called noise in the noise and grain folder, then click and drag that onto the adjustment layer. Here I'm going to add about 10% of noise, and you can do this up to taste if you want more noisy distortion or less, but anywhere between about 5 and 20% is fine in my opinion. Next, we're going to add a color balance. So go to color balance, and you actually want to choose color balance HLS, which stands for hue, lightness, saturation. So drag that onto the adjustment layer, and here's where we can muddy the colors up a little bit. So for the hue, let's set it 15 degrees forward, which is just kind of going to mess up the colors a little bit, make them look off, make things look more purple or bluish. And then for the lightness, let's set that to 5, which is going to brighten and soften things up. And then for the saturation, eyeball it anywhere from -30 to -10. So I'll do -20, and you can already see we're getting a much more VHS looking feel. Next, we're going to add a little bit of a scanning TV distortion. So I'm going to go to Wave in my effects panel, and you should find one in the Distort panel called Wave Warp. Then click and drag this onto the adjustment layer, and we're going to make a few adjustments so it's not so crazy looking. So for the wave type, set it to square, and then the wave direction, set it to 0, so it's vertically straight. Then you can set the pinning to all edges so you don't get those black bars, and then adjust the wave width so that they're a little bit more spaced out and you only have one big bar scanning down. You can keep the wave height around 10. The more you do it, the more messed up things look, so I like to keep it right around 10, and then set the wave speed to about 0.2. Then make sure it's not scanning so fast. Lastly, we're going to find the sharpen filter in our effects panel and just drag that sharpen onto the adjustment layer and sharpen everything up a bit. That'll really give it a bit more of a VHS look as well. Anything around 10 or 20, just eyeball it for your effect. As an optional step, if you want to add a time code or timestamp, you can go to Title, New Title, Default Still, and then click in one of the corners to write out some text. And then I'm using the font VCR OSD Mono. You can find it for free online. Just Google it and then type out a fictional timestamp, I guess. And then you can click and drag that title over the clip and then drag that title track to expand the rest of the clip. So that's how to create a VHS style look. Of course, it's not exactly VHS. We didn't do the 480p. I guess when you export it, you could export it in 480p so that the bars are cropped. Definitely tweak the settings to your liking and adjust things how you want. But these are some basic tools you can do to distort the color and add some noise and glitches. If you guys enjoyed this video, then check out my other Premiere Pro tutorials in a playlist on my channel, and definitely subscribe to stay tuned for all new future videos. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Follow me on social media at Justin Odisho for more, and I'll see you next time.